Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English Basics for Beginners. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Chapter 51 of the Quran, verse number 24, Surah Ad-Dhariyat, the winds that scatter. Has the story reached you of the honored guests of Abraham? Behold, they entered his presence and said, Salams, peace. He said, Salams, peace. And this is the basic etiquette, whether it is in the desert thousands of years ago or today among Muslims. Assalamu alaikum, peace be on you, peace, salams, right? To show that I am here in the desert, you are in the desert all alone. I have not come to harm you. I have come with peace, and I've just come. And once a person says peace and salams to you in the desert, you render to him the best of hospitality, right? So this is the proper etiquette to show that this is not a criminal or a robber who's come to attack you, right? So behold, they entered his presence and said, peace. He said, peace, and thought, these seem unusual people. Then he turned quickly to his household, brought out a fatted calf, and placed it before them. He said, will you not eat? So initially I was a bit apprehensive because three strangers came to his tent. They greeted him politely, but there was something unusual about them. They were dignified, very beautiful and handsome, and there was no marks of stain on their clothes. Whereas if you are walking a long distance in the desert, your clothing is going to be brown with stains. Here these are beautiful, handsome people, spotlessly clean, very dignified, and because they told him salams, he said, okay, they are friendly, but there's something just telling me there's something off-putting about these guys. So he did his duty and immediately roasted his best calf, brought it to them, but they did not eat. Now he's getting worried because if you give a guest in the desert food and that person doesn't eat, basically that person doesn't want your food because he's got criminal intent. Maybe he's going to kill you, rob you, whatever it is. So he doesn't want your food. He's interested in something else. Now you're going to get worried now. You're going to be looking around to see, okay, where's my sword? Where's my knife? Is my family okay? Now you're on edge now because now your adrenaline is pumping. Is the flight or fight response that, okay, something is going on here and I don't know what it is. I'm all alone here and there's three guys who just popped up from nowhere and I need to know what's going on. I gave them food and they don't want to touch the food. When they did not eat, he conceived a fear of them. They said, fear not. And they gave him glad tidings of a son endowed with knowledge. Remember that Ibrahim alayhi salam already had one son, his firstborn Ismail alayhi salam, with Hajar, and they are settled down in Mecca. Whereas his first wife Sarah has been barren her whole life. She has never ever fallen pregnant. She is now 90 years old and Ibrahim alayhi salam is about 100 or 110 years old. And they thought that the time of parenting was totally over. And from a medical point of view, this is true. I mean, a woman gets through menopause at the age of 40 or 45 or 50. Most certainly, a woman who is 90 years old won't be getting her menstrual cycles, first and foremost. Secondly, a woman who's been barren her entire life means that there is something wrong with her reproductive organs. Maybe she had infection of the fallopian tubes, like what you get in modern days, pelvic inflammatory disease, or any of the other problems where it was impossible for her to get pregnant. So here was a woman with great difficulty. Firstly, she has never ever become pregnant in her life because there was problem with the fallopian tubes or the ovaries. She probably had polycystic ovarian syndrome or some other problem where she had a fertility problem. Secondly, she had now passed the age of childbearing. She is now 90 years old. And here these three strangers are telling him that your wife is going to get pregnant, and not only that, but also a grandson. So they get Ishaq and Jacob. And they cannot believe it because from a medical point of view, this is impossible. Firstly, there's no eggs. The ovary has not produced any eggs. And secondly, her medical history shows that she is infertile. And without advanced in vitro fertilization, it is impossible for her to get pregnant, firstly. And secondly, for a woman who's 90 years old, for her to get pregnant, it's a very, 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 very highly risky pregnancy because there's a danger that the uterus or the womb can burst. And her muscles and her body are not capable of that age to carry a baby for 9 months. But yet, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do, as what happened with Zakaria alayhi salam and mother of Jesus, Mary. Allah just has to say, kun fayakun, be, and it is. Allah can do things that are impossible from a medical point of view or from a scientific point of view just through His command, because all the laws of the universe, the laws of gravity, the laws of physics, the laws of chemistry and mathematics, everything have been created by Allah and controlled by Allah, and He can change the laws whenever He wants to. When they did not eat, He conceived a fear of them. They said, "Fear not," and they gave him glad tidings of a son endowed with knowledge. But his wife came forward laughing aloud. She smote her forehead and said, she hit her head laughing, "A barren old woman? Are you giving me this news that I'm pregnant? What are you talking about? You all are just joking. You all are teasing an old woman. Yes, I wanted a baby my whole life, but now at my age, an old lady like me, what are you guys doing? You all are just playing games with an old lady." So she came laughing and jesting at them, and obviously on one side having hope and amazement all combined together. So they said, "Even so has your Lord spoken, and He is full of wisdom and knowledge." Abraham said, "And what, O you messengers, is your errand now?" And now because Ibrahim alayhi salam knows that they are divinely appointed messengers, and whatever they are now saying is the absolute truth. So in his heart he is happy that he now have a son in addition to Ismail alayhi salam, and the son is Ishaq, so now he's happy. And now he's saying he knows that they have not just simply come to give him that news, but they have gone for a greater purpose. "Oh, you messengers, what is your errand now?" They said, "We have been sent to a people deep in sin, to bring on them a shower of stones, of clay, brimstone, sulfur, and volcano, marked as from your Lord, for those who trespass beyond bounds." Then we evacuated those of the believers who were there, and they were coming to the land of Lut alayhi salam, the nephew of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. But we found not there any just Muslim persons except in one house. So they were totally surrounded by all the evil and trespassing that was happening in that community. And we left there a sign for such as fear the grievous penalty. So after they had done with that place and turned that entire city upside down with brimstone falling on them, today the sign is the Dead Sea, where there is no life in that area because of the punishment for homosexuality, man-on-man sex, which these people were involved in. It became so prominent in that community, as what the previous verse says. There was only one house that did not indulge in gay male sexual behavior. All the other people were basically doing it left, right, and center, in open and in public and in private. So it became part of the norm of society, and people forgot what was right and what was wrong. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.